Hey everybody, Whitney here. When you're diagnosed with a gluten-related disorder and you realize that any future you have is going to be a gluten-free future, that can be a bit overwhelming, and most people will experience a kind of a grieving cycle, or what I call a coping cycle. Now, in last week's video, I talked about the first stage of this cycle, which is called numbness. If you missed it, definitely go back and check it out. What I want to talk about today is stage 2 of this coping cycle, and that's referred to as yearning for your previous life. In the yearning stage, it's normal to spend most of your time living in the past and not really connecting with the present moment. The loss of being able to eat wheat-based foods, well, most people experience that as a void, and you might not be able to imagine ever filling that void again. This stage simply isn't just about missing the food that you can't eat anymore, though that's definitely part of it. It's more about longing for the ease or the ignorance is bliss kind of existence that you had before your diagnosis. You might idealize your past life while minimizing all the negatives, like all those symptoms that made you feel so crappy and kept you miserable all the time. Those things that motivated you to find out what the hell was wrong with you in the first place. Some common emotions you might experience during this stage are feelings of anger, irritability. You may have some anxiety. You might have feelings of envy or resentment towards others who have it so easy because they can eat whatever they want to, or at least they have the carefree option to do so, right? And it's not unusual to spend time fantasizing or wishful thinking. And this can show up in some quirky ways. You might go looking for magical cures or some sort of loophole that allows you to have a little bit of your past life back again. After my daughter was diagnosed with celiac disease, when she was in this stage, one of the things that she made a habit of doing was asking her friends if she could smell their gluten-y foods that they were eating. She would just close her eyes and take a big whiff and then imagine, the taste and the enjoyment of eating those foods. The yearning phase can last months. And even when you progress forward through stages 3 and into stage 4, you can still cycle back to the yearning stage for brief periods of time. Okay, so how can you support someone who's in the yearning stage? Well, first off, try being a part of their gluten-free life. Take an interest in their diagnosis, take an interest in the gluten-free foods that they're now eating. Try some of those gluten-free options yourself, have positive things to say about them. And you might try learning about the benefits of being gluten-free. Not just for your friend or family member who's been diagnosed, but maybe even for yourself. So that when your friend or a family member is really struggling, you can be there to remind them of the benefits, right? What is the payoff that they're going to experience being gluten-free? And please, please, please just refrain from any negative commentary. Sometimes you really have to bite your lip at this one. Things like, oh my God, I would die if I couldn't have my bagels. Or saying things like, oh, it must be so hard to live with such severe dietary restrictions. Don't do the pity thing and don't do the drama thing. Also, when it comes to socializing, keep in mind that, as a culture, a lot of our social interaction revolves around food. So go out of your way to try and invite your friend or your family member to social events that aren't organized around food. Now, if you're currently stuck in the yearning stage, there are some simple strategies that you can learn that will help you move through it. You can download my free coping cycle guide for all the details that you need. If you're watching me on Instagram, just click on my bio link. Or if you're on Facebook or YouTube, just click on the link below, okay, and check it out. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week, and I'll be talking about stage 3 of the coping cycle. Until then, take it easy. Bye.